Hey everyone, welcome back. I feel like I have some good natural light today, which doesn't happen all that often. So we're gonna roll with it. Welcome back to L'Amour La Musique. Today we're going to do my 5th annual Beauty Heroes retrospective. We're going to be covering the December 2019 through December 2020 Beauty Heroes subscription boxes. The last one of these I did was November 2018 to November 2019. I kind of always forget what an organizational feat these are, gathering all the products. What has happened is that over the years, progressively, as I've continued to do L'Amour, I get better at giving products away that don't work for me for one reason or another throughout the year so that people can use them. Namely, I give things away to people on Patreon and I want to get them to people in an expedient way. So in the past, I feel like I used to hang on to things until I did the retrospective, but by then, sometimes the products are not good enough to send to someone to use. So in today's video, there's maybe a third of the products are missing. I am endeavoring to make this not an hour-long video. I was going back through my past retrospectives and they range from 28 minutes to like 55 minutes. So I'm really gonna try and keep it in the 30 to 35 minute range. So I'm not gonna be super wordy today. For the most part, I have done individual video reviews for all of the boxes with a couple of exceptions as the year went on. I got more overwhelmed with things. So for example, I combined the Paie box with the One Love Organics box in a video review. And then I did not have time to do the end of the year boxes like November Biofile and December Ayuna Terabella. For anyone that might be new to Beauty Heroes, it is an Eco Beauty monthly subscription box. They've been around for now, I think 6 years. I have been working with them as a brand ambassador for, I guess, almost that full time. I think I started working with them in 2015 reviewing the boxes. I'm not compensated in any way to do so. I just receive the boxes every month to test, and then anyone that signs up through my link, I do make a little bit of affiliate commission from that. So if you'd like to support L'Amour in that way, I do always keep a link below in the description box to go sign up and subscribe to become a Beauty Heroes member. Let's just dive in with the December 2019 Beauty Heroes box. I'm gonna keep my laptop open over here, but hopefully the glare of the screen will not interfere too much with the good natural lighting we have. So we're starting off with a box which I don't have the products for. I gifted them away quite a long time ago. The brand was Honua. The hero product was the newly launched, or I think it launched in the box, Leilani balm, and the sidekick was the Leilani facial mist. The Leilani balm was a texture in a balm that doesn't work very well for my skin. It was more occlusive and it wasn't necessarily very hydrating. I much prefer oilier balm consistencies like the La Part Beauty Balm, like Carrie Gran Essential Balm, like H is for Love Bara Balm. Those are the types of balms I really like, and I don't really, my skin does not do as well with the waxier, almost drier balms like Leilani. It was a beautiful product. I think the formulation of all Honua products is gorgeous. I've always felt really drawn to the Hawaiian traditional medicinal perspective that Honua puts forth. I did dig out some other products from Honua in my empties. So my personal hero is probably the Hawaiian Beauty Water. I finished these up in the last year, the Paie Cleansing Cream and Hawaiian Beauty Water. This was a bit, not a miss, I just didn't care for it. I'll review it more extensively in an upcoming skincare empties, but I don't even like exfoliating toner type products. This is literally the only one I've ever tried that I truly love and would absolutely repurchase. So Hawaiian Beauty Water. And I also randomly had empties. I think these are actually from 2019, the Aloha Youth Serum and Olina Beauty Oil, both of which I love. And I preferred Aloha before it had bakuchiol added to it, if I'm remembering correctly. They did change the formulation of this, but I did love both of these as well. Leilani Facial Mist, if I'm remembering correctly, it was a year ago. So it just, scent-wise, was not my personal favorite. I used maybe a fifth or a quarter of it, and then I just decided to package them up and let someone else enjoy them. So not the biggest hit of a box for me personally, but I can attest to these other products from Honua that are more near and dear to my heart. So moving on to January 2020, it's a brand I just reviewed because it's being featured this month again, March 2021, and it is Ranavat. So Last year, the hero product in January was the newly launched Luminous Ceremony Cream Cleanser. Talked about this a lot in the video that I just did 2 weeks ago. Then also in that box were the Jasmine Hydrating Tonique and Radiant Rani. So this actually is the old Ranavat packaging I was referencing in my most recent video. This is what Radiant Rani looks like now, and I think you can understand by looking at this what a beautiful packaging upgrade Ranavat made. I mean, this is just art, but the efficacy in the formulation has always been really spot on. I actually have 2 empty Jasmine Hydrating Toniques that I fished out of my empties. Wonderful product. I have one in the new packaging down in my bathroom right now. This box was a total hit for me, total hit. Fell in love with this, became my #1 second cleanse, creamy cleanse for most of the year, except in the summer when I want something just a little bit more clarifying. This is very moisturizing. Would repurchase. I think it's wonderful. Shortly after this box came out, I had Michelle on my podcast, got really into the Kansa wand. So January 2020 was a big hit for me. Okay, then we moved to February 2020, which featured another brand that I really enjoy and has been featured in Beauty Heroes before, Blue Alchemy. So the hero product is not actually this. This is a bottle of the Multi-C Serum, and this actually came from a box swallow box sometime during the last year. The hero product in February of 2020 with Beauty Heroes was actually, again, another newly launched product, like launched in the Beauty Heroes box, the Botanic Retinol. It looks in identical packaging to this, airtight pump. I did try it on and off for about 3 weeks, and I ended up giving it away quite promptly because I'm just the black sheep of beauty bloggers or beauty enthusiasts in general. Not only do I not use a synthetic retinol and don't foresee myself doing that anytime soon, I also always waffle about how I feel about these retinol alternative ingredients. When Botanic Retinol came out from Blue Alchemy, it was really when bakuchiol as an ingredient was starting to blow up and show up in a lot of formulations, and then just started getting added to everything, like the Aloha Youth Serum. I don't have a final perspective on it. I am more interested in a cellular health perspective. Any kind of ingredient, whether it's a synthetic or a natural plant-based ingredient, forcing the skin to turn over faster than it might on its own. I mean, this is just such a whole big discussion that's so beyond the scope of this video. I think I probably talked about it quite a bit in the standalone review I did of this. And my thinking is really about the same. They're not ingredients that I feel drawn to use right now. Will I in 5 years? Maybe. If I start developing a lot of hyperpigmentation or something, yes, I would be much more inclined to. But personally for me right now, I don't feel that I need help in the turnover department. But for anybody that does, I do think this proliferation of eco plant-based alternatives to synthetics is promising. I know I will get flamed for saying that retinol is, I mean, what do I say? I think that there are a lot of warning signs about the use of synthetic retinol in terms of how it can disrupt cellular activity in other parts of the body. Like, it's been shown to alter how kidney cells replicate in the body. If you can't use it when you're pregnant and breastfeeding, to me, that's kind of like a tip-off that there's an issue with it. So I'm just more precautionary in that way. I know this whole big debate is just raging on in the beauty industry and really in the world. People that have a more alternative or precautionary approach to their self and their bodies, and not everybody agrees. And then the people that want to use synthetic ingredients just get really pissed off when other people try and say, well, like, wait a minute, let's consider some other perspectives. Anyway, hopefully that's the longest ramble I'll go on in this video. The sidekick is actually an empty product of mine, Blue Alchemy Eye Oil Serum. I love this. It's totally one of my favorite Blue Alchemy products. I also am currently using a bottle of Blue Alchemy oil cleanser, which I bought in a Beauty Heroes sale that was happening in November, I think. I really like the toning elixir. Multi-C I like, although she did add tetrahexyldecyl, which is showing up in so many vitamin C formulas. It's in a product we'll talk about soon, Low Fox Haute C. Well tolerated by lots of skins, including mine, who tends to get dried out from, for example, ascorbic acid. Okay, March 2020, another huge hit for me. This box was a huge hit. new to me brand, which is always very exciting. The brand was Free and True. This is a California-based brand. Hero product, Mama Pacha Moisture Infusion Cream. And, or I can't remember, maybe they were co-heroes. Body Profit, all over creamy serum. In fact, maybe this was the hero. You can see how mangled this is. My husband Kaveh dropped this, broke it, and then proceeded to try and repair it because we both loved this product so much. And actually I repurchased it and we're currently working on another. This is an empty. I scraped every last, well, actually there's a little bit in there. I recommend this cream to everybody. It's one of my favorite face creams. I just totally fell in love with these two products. I think that it was such a well curated box. I've gone on to try several other things. Actually, this is an empty, the Free and True Moonlight Milk Cleansing Balm. I did not like this at all, to be honest with you. I did finish it, but it was really a textural thing. Again, I'll review it more extensively in an upcoming skincare empties, but this was a miss. I've also tried the Freedom Fighter face oil and I don't really like it. It has the same scent as this, and for some reason it just doesn't work for me in a face oil, but I absolutely love it in this, and this is just exceptional. I'll probably repurchase this come late summer, moving into fall. I have some really nice lightweight creams that I'm using for the spring summer season, but I will so repurchase this in the future. Like, probably, I mean, do I want to say this was my favorite box of the year? Yes. Amazing, amazing discovery for me. Okay, April 2020, not as much of a hit because I don't have either product. It was again featuring a new to me brand, the Australian brand Mukti. The hero product was the Hyaluronic Marine Serum, and the sidekick was the 2-in-1 Resurfacing Exfoliant. I do remember these quite clearly. And I did bring up my personal hero product from Mukti that I've tried to show you, which is the Deep Cleanse Antioxidant Mask. You can see I've made pretty nice dent in this. I love this product so much. I've also tried the Marigold Hydrating Cream, which was also a miss for me. So I have found Mukti to be hit or miss in, I mean, not really extreme ways. Again, it's similar to like the Honua products. Even when they don't work for me, they're still beautiful. Like, I can tell the formulation is exquisite. The ingredients are extremely high quality. They're just not a match for me. So the Hyaluronic Marine Serum, again, similar to Blue Alchemy Botanic Retinol, just not, I'm really moving away from these intense hyaluronic plumping type of serums, which is odd for me, I think, because I really fell in love with the Provise Nutrify 1-to-6 Tonic, and that was what kind of set me off feeling really drawn actually to a water-based serum and seeing really good results on my formerly really dry and dehydrated skin. However, a lot has changed in the last 5 years. I've had a baby, gone through a lot of hormonal shifts. Time has marched on, and I just find that I see better results personally with oil and toner and like maybe a cream or maybe a balm on top. I really have been reevaluating a lot of serums in my life and have been preferring to go just for more antioxidant rich oil serum type of products and just a more minimal routine. And this is also the time I'm doing this review. It's spring. I've just come off a month of really dry, flaky, seasonal transition skin. So let's talk again in a couple months when there's actually more moisture in the air and I might not be reacting as poorly to these hyaluronic rich products. But that's basically what the Hyaluronic Marine Serum was. And then the 2-in-1 Resurfacing Exfoliant was a physical exfoliant that unfortunately did dredge up some redness in my skin. I found it to be slightly too abrasive for me personally. However, liked the kind of scent and experience of it. It was a very kind of like cucumber scent from what I'm remembering. I did find it, I'm trying to see if I have a bottle that's kind of similar. I guess it was kind of like this type of bottle. It was a little slimmer and it had quite a narrow opening with a twist off lid, and you were supposed to kind of dump it out, and it was quite viscous, so it just to me seemed a bit like a weird packaging choice, although it was probably too loose to go into a jar and too thick to be pumped out. I just found that I didn't really care for how it was the user experience of it, I guess. So those I gifted on after a month of kind of trying them, and I think I did do a standalone review. Mukti Deep Cleanse Antioxidant Mask, by far the best Mukti product I've tried. Everyone I recommend this to, and who picks it up also has given me really good feedback. If you are dry and you want kind of a clarifying deep cleanse mask, I think this is wonderful. It's one of the only kind of, it does have some clays in it, but with all the other herbs and things that it's formulated with, it does not dry out the skin at all. It just leaves the skin soft, totally refreshed. You only need it on for about 10 minutes, but I've left it on up to 30 with no dry out. And it's just, I don't know, it's very much like a farm to table smell. It kind of has a very nice effect on the psyche as well. So I really, really fell in love with this product this last year. All right, moving on to May 2020. This was, you know, a couple months into the world turning upside down and everyone having to kind of acclimate to a difficult situation. And Beauty Heroes came out with this bathing culture box. I remember in the standalone review that I did, I really lauded them for it, and I will too in this retrospective, because I just thought that it was such serendipitous timing. There was something about this box at the time that it came, at what people were preoccupied with. The hero product was this bottle, I think a 32-ounce bottle of their Mind and Body wash. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the Mind and Body wash. It's like their signature product, and this is the bathing culture reusable bottle that it comes with. Something about this, I mean, people were obviously really obsessed with washing hands, and soap was kind of in short supply. And I don't know, there was just something about this that I felt was really impactful. And I remember Beauty Heroes was also doing a lot of community work at the time and delivering care packages to essential workers. The sidekick was the Outer Being Face and Body Oil and the Golden Hour Hydrosol. This is an empty. Totally loved it, and it's such a simple product, and it's one of those, I didn't really have any expectations for it. I had used the Mind and Body wash before, actually as a body wash, that I was kind of on, but how I use this is I keep this bottle in our downstairs powder room and use just a little bit to wash hands with, and that's my favorite application for it. I've gone on to buy other reusable bottles and have repurchased the soap, and now I really like using it as a hand soap. I know Castile soap can dry some people's hands out. I just use a very small amount, and the scent of this is just, it makes me happy every single time I use it. And this is just such a simple product. It's like a Nerolian rose, but there was just something really exquisite and refreshing. I ended up using it through spring and summer, and it just brought me a lot of joy, to be honest. I've tried a zillion toners, and when someone can execute something simply really well, that's what I feel like this was. And they do use a special technique to make this effleurage or something, if I'm remembering correctly, but it's a particular hydrosol making technique. Anyway, I just really loved it. And truthfully, I liked this more than you may be able to tell with the amount I used. What happened is I used it quite a bit when I initially got it, and to me, it just wasn't that well suited for spring and summer. In terms of the scent, I feel like this would have been a better fall winter scent for me, and by that time rolled around, I was already getting inundated with so many other things to try that this just kind of unfortunately slipped to the back of my drawer. But I do try and put it into rotation now. It's different than this, which was very light and refreshing. This was very grounding, deep, woodsy, protective. To be honest, this box was a bit of a sleeper hit for me. I had tried the Mind and Body Wash, and I just didn't expect to like the other products as much as I did, and then find such great utility for this. All right, we'll go with a little bit of ring lightage because the sun kind of went away. Okay, let's move on now to June 2020. My birthday month. I loved this box. I think it was probably one of the most popular ones that they did all year. The value was very high. And it was, again, a launch, or very close to the launch, of this new collection that the brand Lil Fox had come out with called the Couture line. So the hero product was the Haute C Serum Cons 15% vitamin C, ferulic brightening serum concentrate, and the Dewy Bean Dream smoothing bedtime mask, a gentle retinol alternative, was the sidekick. Lil Fox is a brand that Beauty Heroes has featured a couple of times before. My personal hero from Lil Fox is the Cleopatra Milk and Honey mask, which is a powdered pink clay mask, but it is amazing. I have a jar that I try and put in rotation. I just don't do a lot of masks that need to be mixed. It's so much easier to reach for a pre-mixed mask, but I've tried so many things from Lil Fox over the years, and in fact, I just picked up a bottle of their Maracuja oil because it was really, really calling to me. Again, I'm going through this like oil moment. So this was the first time I had ever tried a vitamin C product with tetrahexyldecyl in it, and I kind of had some trepidation around this because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna dry my skin out. Every vitamin C product dries my skin out. Again, I also am just maybe a rebel who doesn't like to listen to authority, but I don't necessarily think that everybody has to use a vitamin C product the way all the traditional skincare advice recommends. But if I'm feeling like my skin is dull and I want kind of that brightening type of effect that vitamin C is supposed to yield, I'm apt to go for, you know, like the Blue Alchemy or this one. The experience of this is amazing. I've heard people went and repurchased it as soon as they ran out, and it is pricey. I think it's $125 a bottle. It has the most amazing kind of lemon cream pie lemon drop scent. It's an absolute joy to use. You could do this, like a couple drops of a neutral oil on top and an eye product, and if you kind of have normal skin that doesn't get really dry or doesn't get really oily, I know people are now starting to not want to use the word normal to describe skin. It's getting really hard to couch all of your words in a way that's not going to offend someone. But yeah, I loved this. I used it on and off for maybe 3 or 4 months. It kind of had a place in my routine, and then I just kind of phased it out. But I do keep this around and might go back to putting it into heavier rotation when I feel like I want to revisit some serums in my life. Now, the Smoothing Bedtime Mask, the most unique thing about this is the texture. It's really kind of like a jelly gelée type of texture. It smells a lot like the Jungle Glow. If you've tried that Lil Fox product, it's very fresh, very verdant, very kind of green, and just, I don't know, kind of reminds me of being in a tropical rainforest. I never actually used this as an overnight product because I don't like to leave exfoliating products on my skin. This has niacinamide, lactic and glycolic acids. It also has mothbean extract, which is that retinol alternative. But because of the glycolic, I just don't like to leave on products, but I would leave this on for like an hour. I would take a bath and do kind of a whole nighttime routine and leave it on. And even just leaving it on for an hour, I got a really nice resurfacing effect. No stinging, really, really pleasant, beautiful texture, very fun to use. So I thought these were exceptional. Okay, July 2020, is that right? Yes. Not as much of a hit for me. I only have one of the products. The brand featured was Leilani, and the hero product was the Melly Glow Illuminating Nectar Mask, and the sidekick was the Mahina Evening Replenishing Elixir. Let's just be perfectly honest, Leilani is not a brand that I enjoy very much. I keep rephrasing what I'm saying because it could be interpreted as sounding offensive. I don't like really cloyingly sweet scents, and that is pretty much across the board what I have found with Leilani. They remind me of products that I used as a teenager, and I'm not saying that that's like, some people really like that, you know, it's very much kind of a Bath and Body Works type of milieu. Now my sun is coming back out and I feel like I need to take this off. Probably the only product from Leilani I've ever really liked is the Mermaid Mask, which I think is nice, but not really enough to purchase it or make it part of my routine. The Melly Glow, I used actually a fair amount of this. I would kind of slap it on in the bath. It smells like banana, tropical, sweet, honey. This just didn't do anything for my skin. A lot of people say this is really hydrating. I did not find it to be so. I found it to be very sticky and get in my hair in a way no other masks I have really did. But I kept trying to use it because I was like, it's nice, but it fell flat for me, to be honest. The Mahina Evening Replenishing Elixir I gave away after 1, maybe 2 uses because the scent just bothered me. I don't even remember it, but I remember it lingering on my skin in a way that bothered me. So these products were just a miss. I'd be curious to hear what other people think. I mean, maybe it's kind of hard not to like them, but just not for me personally. Now, this is the first time I've ever done this, but I did want to take a little detour and mention the Love More promotion that happened during the month of July when the Leilani box was happening. It was featuring the relaunch of Ayuna Velo, and I feel like it's worth mentioning quickly here, but I'll probably talk about it in an upcoming disappointing products video because sadly the relaunch of Ayuna Velo, in my opinion, is quite disappointing. This was like the most noteworthy gift with purchase they've ever done because you got a free velo, which is $122 value during the month of July with your purchase of I think $125. So a lot of people jumped on it because the first version of this was really amazing and the only issue was really the packaging. Maybe some product stability and consistency issues, like it did kind of separate over time and I had issues with the packaging, but a lot of people didn't. I do think the packaging was an improvement, but I think they changed, like there's all this emulsion science behind this. It's either water and oil or oil and water. In short, it had tons of pilling issues for me. I tried using this for about a month. I tried using I watched so many tutorials on it, would never fully work into the skin, would always interact with other products, even if I was using like an oil and a toner. And the kicker for me was one day I was outside with my husband Kaveh and he looked at me and he was like, "Your base makeup does not look good today." And he has never, ever said that to me before or since. And I was like, "It does." I was like, "You can see it." He's like, "I can see it, just like it's sitting on top of your skin. It looks clumpy. It looks terrible." And I was like, okay. Thank you for the feedback. And I retired it after that because I had been trying to get it to work. I knew that it was not looking good on the skin. There's some fatal flaws with this. I mean, tell me what you think. Tell me if you were able to get it to work for you. For me, no, and I tried. We'll save some time with August 2020. It was featuring the brand Josh Rosebrook, which is a brand I am no longer talking about in any capacity. This is my first time in 7 years of being on YouTube and in the beauty blogging space that I've ever had an openly antagonistic relationship with a brand founder. I have reviewed Josh Rosebrook products over the last 5 years. I did a review of the July box, so you can kind of get a flavor for what was going on there. I talked about it as well in a podcast episode, I think from over the summer, after which I released that episode, I got extremely hateful iTunes reviews, which I can only imagine came from someone in that clique. It's not a brand that I'll ever support, that you'll ever hear me talk about. Moving right along. September 2020 was featuring the brand Paie. This was the combined review that I did with One Love Organics, and I thought it was a nice review pairing because these are two brands that have been such foundational pioneers in eco beauty. Paie has since gone into total rebrand, new packaging. So this is the old packaging, but the hero product was this giant size Camellia and Rose Gentle Hydrating Cleanser and Lightwork Rosehip Cleansing Oil, which you can see is an empty for me. And it also included a little Kukui and Jojoba exfoliant, which maybe in an empties for me. I'm not sure what I did with it. The Camellia and Rose used to be my #1 creamy cleanser, second cleanse, slightly edged out by the Ranavat, but I do still think that this is beautiful. This is still in rotation for me. Yeah, it has a really nice kind of light, rosy, slightly lemony scent. I used it for years. I'll continue to use it. I think it's wonderful, and you get so much product here. The Lightwork Rosehip Cleansing Oil, I like it okay. I mean, you can see I have an empty. I have like 3 backup bottles of this because it's been showing up in a lot of PR packages, and like Detox Market actually just did a Paie box themselves. I really only use this to remove my eye makeup. I personally don't like it all over the face. Whatever emulsifier they use, I mean, I don't like emulsifying cleansing oils or balms. I've kind of made not minced words over that. I think over time that they don't necessarily serve the skin barrier, and that's why I'm a huge fan of traditional oil cleansing where it doesn't rinse off. Basically, you have to use a cloth. This is nice for eye makeup removal for me, and I'll probably keep those other bottles around to use for that. The One Love Organics box from October, is that right? The hero product, well, I think maybe these, I don't remember what was hero and what was sidekick, but Gardenia and Tea Antioxidant Body Serum, Botanical D Moisture Mist, and the Love and Eye Bright Eye Serum. This box has actually surprised me. When I saw these, I was kind of like, sometimes I feel with One Love Organics, I have a bit of a similar reaction that I have to Leilani. Maybe not quite as strong because the scents are a little bit more, I guess just more in sync with things that I would prefer. But sometimes the One Love Organic scents can also be very pina colada, or, I mean, you have to be in the mood for it. And I think maybe over time I've just gone towards less scented things and more herbal scented things for the most part. What has happened with these products is, particularly with these two, the body serum and the eye bright, I've liked them more over time. This is a really, really good travel product, the Gardenia Antioxidant Body Serum. You know, I actually don't really like this kind of spray dispenser as an everyday product, but for some reason when traveling, and we've done a little bit of traveling, we were in Arizona over the holidays, and then we took a little trip to Florida not that long ago, and I mean, I probably only have about a third of this left. It's a wonderful travel product, and I mean, perfect for Florida. Gardenia in tea, the scent is just really, really nice. So if there's any gardenia lovers in your life, I've gifted this to my mom before, who loves gardenia. And then this is, I've been reaching for this a lot, the Love and Eye Bright Eye Serum, mostly in the evenings. I do find it to be quite emollient and rich, but I've been using it, and I think it's really, really quite lovely. And I think this pale pink in this packaging makes me happy, and that's part of enjoying a product too. The Vitamin D Moisture Mist, I probably have half of this left. This is probably my least favorite thing in the box, just because I'm not that nuts about the scent. It's very rosy, and I mean, it's a little bit of a musty rose scent, quite a rich toner type of product. It's more of like an essence. I'm honestly surprised it goes through this nozzle, because it is quite, it's kind of like a Maya Chia Optimist type. It has quite a bit of stick to the face. But the scent to me is not necessarily my favorite, but ended up enjoying that box a lot more than I thought I was going to. All right, I'm trying to rush because I feel like I've taken a little bit of too much time talking about some of these things. November was featuring the brand Biofile. The two products in the box were the Root Bionic Refining Essence and the BioShroom Rejuvenating Serum. And then I was also trying the oil. Now, my personal hero of the three is the one that didn't come in the box, which is the oil. Also just informed by my perspective and moment with skincare right now. This was actually the BioShroom Rejuvenating Serum. This was part of the Indie Beauty Expo 2019 awards. It was a winner. I'm reviewing that list right now, working on reviewing those products. I got the least use out of the essence just because I found it to be slightly too active for my skin. Used the serum for a while, then just started to feel like, is this really doing anything for me? Get our light back on. Sorry, it's kind of whatever. It's just one of those videos. I just started feeling like, is this doing anything for me? I stopped using it. I didn't really notice any change stopping using it and just using the oil. I actually did a whole video on Patreon about this, like seasonal spring transitional skincare and my overwhelm and basically like big skinimalism moment that I'm going through. So I've used all, I mean, I have less than half of this left to use. You are supposed to use these within 3 months. So I'm already kind of beyond that. As soon as I turn on my light, the sun comes back out. So I don't have final thoughts on these. I thought it was a really interesting box to receive. This is obviously a huge trend in skincare right now. Microbiome focused skincare, very minimal skincare. I've been researching some other brands in this space, and it's something I want to delve into more in another video, but I can speak very highly, at least to these two. I mean, you're really supposed to use them all together, but the essence was just a little bit too much for me. And again, I just don't feel like I need that much activity on my skin as this felt like it was doing in terms of resurfacing. But I have heard from people that the serum is quite good at taking down sensitivity. And if you're going through a very sensitive moment, the mushrooms in this are very calming to the skin, very restorative to the barrier. So if your barrier is already in a pretty good place and you haven't done a lot of over exfoliation, then you may not see a lot of results from something like this. At least that's the conclusion that I'm coming to. But the oil, it's a fermented oil, which I think is a really interesting concept in beauty. And this is great if you're a minimalist and you just want to use like an oil and a toner. It's very lightly scented. It's a beautiful texture. Really like it. I actually get tons of questions what oil to pair with these, because most people just got these in the box. And I would just say something really light and neutral. So like Kahina Argan Oil, Paie Rose Hip. The Inlight Beauty Oil I think would also be quite nice. Maybe Lil Fox Prickly Pear. Like those to me all kind of approximate something like this, but just something really light and kind of simple. All right, last but not least, December 2020, which was arguably like the most epic Beauty Heroes box of all time, at least in terms of notoriety and impact. I don't remember that much buzz that a Beauty Heroes box had generated since Vintner's Daughter was featured in 2015. They featured the Vintner's Daughter oil, and it created like a similar just bang splash in the eco beauty world. So I don't actually have Ayuna Terabella, but I do have my old Terra. I ended up sending Terabella to my mom as a very belated holiday / Valentine's Day gift. She really likes Ayuna products. I took some photos of Terabella next to my original Terra, which at this point I have retired because the texture started changing, and this one was released the year before. So this is now, you know, 14, 15 months old. Definitely lived its life. I probably used 2/3 of it and absolutely loved it. My final conclusion after trying both was that I preferred the original formulation of Terra more than Terabella. Again, the theme is going to be Mercedes is just a weirdo, maybe, but I'm not that interested in stem cell technology in skincare either. I'm not that interested in epidermal growth factor. I'm not interested in things that are manipulating cellular activity. I'm just not, and maybe that will change, and if I were to trust any brand doing it, it would 100% be Ayuna, because they are at the cutting edge of green chemistry, green technology in skincare. Extremely intelligent, experienced people researching this. Again, this is just a kind of an innovative approach to skin health and maintaining skin integrity and cellular turnover, away from kind of the traditional cosmetics and dermatological approach to like trying to basically keep everyone's skin looking as young as possible for as long as possible, which is a whole thing we could deconstruct. People like Jessica DeFino and Svetlana from Gressa are very active fight against normative beauty standards online, which I do think is also an important conversation to continue having. So Terabella, not for me personally. I found the textures to be really different between Terabella and the original Terra. Terabella was much more of a cream 2 texture for me, whereas original Terra for me was kind of like a whipped, moussey, more emollient texture, I guess. I needed the smallest amount of this, and I found it to be supremely hydrating, supremely moisturizing, slightly occlusive, but in a way that works for me personally. Yeah, I really, really loved my original Terra very, very much. I would love to hear from any of you who did try Terabella what you thought, because I've heard mixed things. Some people seem to really get on with it. For some people, it seems like it didn't work for their skin. That's kind of the case with all products. But yeah, I mean, I would love to hear feedback on that, and honestly, just anything that I talked about today. It's very, very helpful for me to hear your feedback as just anecdotal reference points for myself, because I'm always reviewing based on my skin and my skincare perspective, while also trying to keep in mind that other people have different skin concerns, have compromised barriers, have hyperpigmentation, have melasma. We're such a broad community, and we all have very varied interests and goals, I guess you could say, and proclivities. This is just my perspective and where I'm at 38 years old, and kind of the stage of life that I'm in. But thank you so much for spending this time with me. I think I went on longer than my goal, but that's okay. I feel like I got through this in expedient enough a way that I'm satisfied with, and I hope it was comprehensive enough. Just in closing, I guess I would say my personal heroes from the year were for sure Mama Pacha, for sure Ranavat Luminous Ceremony, probably Lil Fox Haute C. I mean, maybe Golden Hour to Hydrosol, maybe Biofile oil. Yeah, these were all big standouts for me. It was just another great year. Beauty Heroes is a company I will always have a lot of love for. It's kind of like I've grown up in eco beauty with them, and I don't know eco beauty or doing L'Amour without Beauty Heroes. I just appreciate Jeannie and Kevin and the whole Beauty Heroes team. I know they work extremely, extremely hard to deliver this product to people at a really, really high level of customer service. Just ending this video on a love note for them. Looking forward to another year of amazing product discovery and reviewing and chat with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you know all the places you can find me, and I don't have to do all my boring plugs, but Instagram, Patreon if you want to support this work and get access to tons of bonus stuff that I've done. All the information will be down below. Email, website, all the places you can find me. Podcast is still kicking along. I have some good interviews with Marie from And the Color Green and Julie Elliott from Infiore this month. Check out my clean bedroom video from last month to get a good deal with the clean bedroom. If you're in the market researching new bedding, new mattress, all of that was last week. I will look forward to seeing you here next week, hopefully. Bye.